G'day and welcome to a test video for Scrap Mechanic. I'm playing around inside a single cell or tile represented by the red border. I've previously done a video on how the raid counters work per tile. So we managed to get 4 raids in that little tiny corner over there, and then additional to each of the joining tiles. So you got to think of this as like a noughts and crosses grid or a 3x3 grid. We're in the center square, and then we've got equivalent of a square this size in all directions, so one off there, one in the corner, all the way around. But the reason for this video is I want to play around with the spawning and some of the other features that sort of are probably not understood exactly, and even for myself I've been utterly amazed at what I've got on the ground right at this minute. So on that orange tile represented by the car, there's a water cannon and a light pulsing. So there's one here with a water cannon and a light pulsing, one in the corner there, each one representing a different tile. We've got one on this wall of this beam where my crosshair is, representing the blue tile. We've got one here which represents the red tile, one on the other side of that beam which represents the light green tile, and then we've got one for the corner tile and one for the white tile in that direction. I'm going to get down and show you what they are. They're just simple pulses with a light. So let's go through and do that. So what they are in each corner is I've got some logic, a water cannon and a light pulsing. So at night I can see the light, and during the day we can see the water. Gives us a good visual clue that's going on. I've actually put a switch on all the other posts except for this one. Let me do that. The reason to put a switch there is then we can fiddle with the switch and check the state and see whether it changes when we move around. So this one's on the pink tile, that one's on the orange tile, and we've got 9 of them. No, we've got 10. So there's one here representing the white tile, the light blue tile, and we can see the water has stopped on this one, which is interesting. Alright, welcome back. Just reset all the cannons. I'll just do a quick check on the water because we're running 10 cannons at a time. No, we're going to run out before I can get a video done. Alright, let's go through how am I going to do this. G'day, I'm back in the middle of my cell testing area. I've fixed up the water by adding a second water tank and another 5 vacuums on it. So we're running 10 vacuums down there at the moment to address the water demand of all the cannons running at the same time. So this line where this water cannon is an extra cell. So from a cell point of view, that straight red line on the horizon is the edge of the red cell, and this red line on the horizon here where the water pumps are the edge of the blue cell. Now Scrap Mechanic loads the player cell plus 1 in all directions, so if you can imagine another cell's off in that direction and it will load all of this red cell. Now I don't know if it would load the cell beyond that where the white marker is, but my understanding is it's also something to do with your render distance as well. So these pumps and everything else are being loaded the whole time and running without too much problem at all. And we're a long way away from that water. So if we put our tool out, we can see that the water connection is a long way away, and where that water is 1 tile away. So for me, an experiment I wanted to run was how far away do we need to go before the water runs out. So from that point of view there, if we move this way, the tile edge for the T-piece is this marker here on the road. So we're actually now on the edge of the white tile, and we can see the water over there has just stopped. So that water tank has no access to the water at the moment, even though we've got the lights blinking. the actual water tile for those water pumps has now been disconnected. So these ones over here are stopped as well. So as we move back in, hopefully, we should see the water come back on. So that gives you an idea that from where we're standing right now at the moment on the tile, so we're inside that white line on this white tile, the blue water tile where the tanks are still loaded. That's what that water's going on there. And then as we move away, the water tank should unload. So there we go, we're seeing the water stop, run back in, and the water starts back up. Now I don't know what's happening on the other one. I may have a problem with the water tank or with the logic here. Is the logic being unloaded as well? And just a quick troubleshooting. But the ones in the other corners are working, so from an experimental point of view, I think it is something to do with this particular one. The pulse might be wrong. We're getting a double pulse or something stupid. But it's actually connected to water as well, so it could be that particular tank. I'll just check. Yeah, but the experiment was how far away do you need to go before everything unloads. Now what I'm going to do is change my render distance and see if it affects the distance there at all. So we probably are running out of water on one set of tanks, but that one should have restarted pulsing away as soon as we got in range. So forcing the reload of that tile, that cannon started up again. So I'll just show you that we're showing that one is the one we're talking about, we're just looking at. So let's do that quickly again. So I know the edge of the next tile, the white tile, is those white lines. So at the moment the blue tile where the water is loaded, no problem at all. And then we move past the tile edge, which is just here. So I'll get in range so we can see. So that one's pulsing, we're in range. Spawning haybots around us. We're still going. We're on the tile edge. And that water cannon stopped. So let's go quickly run from here. I'm just going to run all the way across the contraption to go to where the water is to show you how large the loads chunks are when we're talking about two tiles or a player plus one tile. So all the way down here, coming all the way, and the water tanks are down in this corner. So it helps you understand how far the load is. Now if I get in the middle of my red tile and we do a +1, it's loading all of the tiles successfully. So we've got all the water pumps chumping away. One's in that corner we were talking about where we've got them unloaded, chunking away. These ones are chunking away. Everything's all running happily. So I'm going to quickly change my render distance and see quickly how if this actually affects the load of the when we run out, when we disconnect our water. So at the moment we're all still loading. We're in that same chunk where we've got our water running everywhere. We've got our water running in this corner. Jump over the tile boundary. No, we're still good. And get close to this white line. So we're still on a white tile. We've still got rendering. We've got that one playing up, so it's probably specific to that water tank is unloaded. And here we are on the tile boundary. We've just crossed it, and we've got our water tank disconnected because we can see here in the far distance that particular tile is loading okay, and we've actually got water running there, but we don't have any water running here. So it is actually based on the contraption loading is based on your tiles and your distance. So yeah, so if you build your base correctly and have access to tiles, you can load in 9 tiles around you, well 9 tiles plus the one you're on plus the boundary ones, which gives you 9 tiles, which can give you a really big space. So whenever you're trying to troubleshoot, your machine's running slow, or I've got a contraption, or is anything too close together, you need to be aware that the scrap mechanic is loading all of those corners. And the logic state didn't change as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit, save, and just jump straight back in. So we've just jumped straight back in, and everything is all loaded and running quite happily. So our water's running straight away, our logic's running straight away, water there's running okay. So we've actually got everything working. Yeah, I hope this has been educational to everybody, and catch you guys on the next one.